So a few people have been asking us about the different ride heights and how the air suspension works on the Stallion Barn system. So this video is just going to show a little bit of a demonstration. Right now, we've got the float set up for what we call our off-road mode. So as you can see, it's set up nice and high. One of the things with this float that a lot of people don't realise is that because it doesn't have axles, the lowest point of the trailer there is the lowest point of it. There's nothing below it. So this is actually a very good ground clearance for all your off-road, sort of getting into paddocks and so forth. So the next mode we're going to show is we're going to drop it down and bring it to what we consider our country mode height. You see the trailer coming down. So that's our country mode. So this is a mode we've sort of set up based on your country roads as you're driving around New Zealand. And this just gives you that little bit of extra clearance when you're going over those difficult bumps and so forth. Then the next mode is our highway mode. So the trailer comes down a bit more. This mode here is designed, we're on our New Zealand motorways. Yeah, they're still not the greatest in the world, but they're still pretty smooth compared to what you'd normally need for a horse float. So this highway mode allows us to get the float as low as possible to the ground for our sort of New Zealand motorway style conditions. This means we're keeping our induced drag under the float to an absolute minimum, making it easier to tow. Then when you're ready to load your horses onto the float, we've got our load mode. So this is what we call our automatic load function. So you can see here, this is where we drop the trailer down hard onto the ground. As you can see, it's really nice and smooth. No banging around or sudden movements for the horses inside. We've been using this float for 12 months and the horses haven't even flinched at us raising and lowering it for these different conditions. Now you can see the float's hard on the ground there, making it really solid platform to now load the horses. So once your horses are loaded, we've got our twin pump and preloaded air tanks that loads the system up nice and quickly so you're ready to go on to your next location. As you can see, once again, nice and smooth coming up. Once it's reached this ride height, it's got an angle sensor on the suspension arms that tell it that it's at the right height. All of this is controlled from the in-car cab to screen, so you can change your ride height as you're driving based on the conditions that you're in. With the airbag suspension, you're only putting as much air into them as you need for the weight that you're carrying. Most spring suspension systems are designed for the absolute maximum load of the float. With this, you only put as much air into the suspension system as you actually load your carrying. And that makes a massive difference. If you've got 1 horse, 2 horses, 3 horses, the suspension lifts up based on what you require, not what your maximum capacity of the light float is. And all of this is just adding to that smooth ride for them in the back of the float.